What is going on, guys? It is DigiWatchTCG, and today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a different type of market watch. It is a bit of part discussion and part market watch. We're going to be going over these new cards that you see in front of you. This is the new support for Jesmon and Royal Knights that has just been announced, and I find this really cool, and this is probably the most powerful card, in my opinion, that's going to be coming out for Digimon TCG. Now, keep in mind, this is BT10. We're not going to get this in North America for quite a while, but I figured it might be cool as a topic for discussion to also look at cards that we currently have out or are about to be released, and just figure out what can be used for this, what you might want to keep your eye on, as much. With that said, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave your comments below with what you think of the video and what kind of deck you might want to see being made out of this. With that said, these are the four that are going to be released. Now, I am going to kind of be doing a little bit of page flipping around and trying to get you all the translations. I've read these cards multiple times, so I should have a pretty good idea. So first off, just to show you the images, this is Gengoku X, Gengokumon X. You can digivolve for 1 cost from a Gengoku or a black or red with a 4 cost, 13 to play, 12,000 DP. Also, by the way, I want to mention I found this image online on withthewill.net, and I can't really find anything else right now that online yet about it, so I am using this, but I'm sure there's going to be other translations are just better. We have Jesmon GX, that is this version over here. This is the big boy. This is the one that's going to mainly be the one I want to talk about the most. And then this one, I think it's called Senkai Mappa, which is an option card over here. So I'm going to go down, and as you can see, it's just another version over here. There is a translation right here. So we have Gengokumon X, so this is the first one I want to go over. So basically, this one here is a blocker. First off, you can get Digivolve for 1 memory from the Gengokumon. It has Royal Knight, Holy Knight, and X antibody in its traits. When Digivolve, play 1 Digimon with Sistermon in its name from your hand or trash. Then, if Gengokumon is in this Digivolution card sources, or if you have a Digimon with Sistermon in its name in play, all your Digimon gain 2,000 DP. All your Digimon can't be returned to hand or deck by your opponent's effects, and the DP of all your Digimon cannot be reduced until the end of your opponent's turn. So basically, this card says you cannot do anything to me for 1 turn. Basically, though, it is a very powerful card. Being able to just get out another Sistermon first off is very powerful, especially we know how powerful that can be with other Royal Knights. And also that protection clause can also translate to anything you did evolve on top of it that can keep in mind. Then we have Seal. This is the new Sistermon card that's been released. When played during your turn, you may digivolve one of your Digimon cards, into a Digimon from your hand with Royal Knight in its traits by paying the Digivolution cost. And then your turn, once per turn, when a Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knight in its traits digivolves, gain 1 memory. So first off, not only do you gain a memory from this, but also it kind of gives that ability to blitz, but you're doing like a blitz digivolve, which is very powerful, especially when we talk about Jesmon GX in a second. But basically, this one here will allow you to digivolve even if it passes your opponent's turn. So let's say you're at a 1 memory or a 0 memory, and you play the Seal. And let's say the Seal costs 4 memory to play. Let me see if it actually has so it is 4 to play actually. So it passes 4 to your opponent. But since the last thing that happened is Seal's all-in-played effect, you can digivolve into your Jesmon GX or your Gengoku and give your opponent. You do give your opponent extra memory from that, so they may be going to 7, 8, 9, whatever it is. But you will be able to trigger this effect. So now this effect here is really how all 3 of these kind of relate. So when and this is the card actually that makes this deck so much fun. I'm excited because you can potentially make interesting deck builds with this version of the card. So when this card can digivolve from a level 6 Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits for 5 memory. Let's read that again for a quick second. Level 6 Digimon with Royal Knights in its traits for 5 memory. Even though this over here, we see the image being 5 and 5 from red or black, because it doesn't restrict you, in this clause here, you can technically do this to any card with Royal Knights. That's Lord Nightmon, that's All Force Vmon, that's Genkoku, that's Jesmon, that's everything. So that is a very interesting effect, which is why I say you can kind of tech this in with other decks. So then the When Digivolving effect. When Digivolving, place one Digimon card with Royal Knights in its traits with a play cost of 13 or less from your hand or trash under this Digimon as a Digivolution card. Activate the When Digivolving effect of cards added to this Digimon's Digivolution cards by this effect. Then it gains Blitz. So not only can you gain effects like, for example, let's say you put a Gallantmon underneath it. Gallantmon has something like when you have a red player in play, a red tamer in play, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. That will trigger from the Digivolution effect. But that also includes other cards that are not the same color, which I'll get to in a sec when we look at the MarketWatch side of things. And then being able to do Blitz. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention, this also gains when it has Royal Knights in its traits, piercing, blocker, and security +1 for each card with Royal Knights in its traits. So the more you have, the better. So let's say you had a Gengoku in the initial stack, then you Digivolve for 1 into X Antibody version. That's 2 Royal Knights right there. Then you Digivolve into Jesmon GX. That is its effect. Add another Royal Knight underneath it. That is 3. And its a regular attack is 4. So you're doing 4 checks to your opponent's security. This is very, very powerful. My God. This is going to be very exciting to see how this can be played in different types of decks, and I'm going to definitely talk about that when I get into some of the other choices of where you want to consider investing your money, or maybe picking some cards up now. So then the last thing is, while you have a Digimon, so this is the option Sekai Meppa. While you have a Digimon with Royal Knights and its traits in play, you can ignore the Digivolution colors to play, unsuspend one of your Digimon. Then if that Digimon is named at Jesmon X, activate the When Digivolving effect, and then its security is just adding to hand. But that basically means that you can trigger this all over again and gain multiple effects again from this by adding more sources underneath it. This is incredible. This is scary incredible. I am actually scared when this card comes out, because I honestly don't think there's going to be many other decks that will be able to compete. And yes, it is a level 7. Yes, you're probably going to be expending a lot of resources on this over here, but there are a lot of pros and cons to having this card introduced in the game. With that said, let's switch over to our MarketWatch part of the video. So I'm not going to make it too long, but I just want to kind of bring up some choices here. So first thing I wanted to do is look at this Sistermon that we currently have. Now this does not include anything that is like coming up in BT9 or any of the starter decks coming up, but just what we have currently. So we have Sistermon Seal, and this one is the alternate art, and we see that its price is pretty low right now. It's honestly about 23-24. I think this has been consistent for quite a while. I would consider picking up 2 of these, because I don't know how often these ones are going to be used, but just having the alternate arts, they're very nice, even just to look at. So that's one thing. Then we have the Blanc here. So Blanc 27, it has been seeing more play because people who are still in the current format do sometimes like to still play Jesmon. So that could be something to consider as well, although it's not used as often when we get into later sets, especially when we get the starter deck coming out. Then we have the Blanc Awaken. Now this is its only printing. Now we may get, maybe at some point, another release of this card, but having Sistermon Blanc Awaken is the one that when you play it, you can recover +1 if you put the Sistermon Blanc from your hand or trash underneath it. And remember, that's any that's any version of Sistermon Blanc. It's not specific to a set. So that is something to keep in mind. Now it is about $6-7. I would probably consider picking up a play set of these if you don't have one already. So then let's get out of the Sistermons over here. So the next one I wanted to take a look at is the Gengoku. So as I mentioned before, I'm not certain what the other Gengoku, I have to look it up again, but basically this Gengoku deletes everything with the lowest play cost. And then specifically with this MarketWatch, why I wanted to point this out is that I'm looking at the Royal Knights that have a When Digivolving effect. So we see that it has a little bit of a spike, but this is an option that can definitely be useful, especially since you can play Genkoku and the Genkoku X. And this art is really nice also, because if you see on the side here, it does have a little bit of Jesmon in it, and the alternate art Jesmon does connect to this card, so it makes a really nice combo, card design. For $8.50, I think that picking up at least 2 of these, maybe a half set, is not that bad idea. Actually, I want to ask a question for anyone watching. If you know a reason why that pre-release cards are higher than the DigiFest cards, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that. Because usually I would think that if you're going to a festival that's very exclusive and sells out very quickly, that this would be the one that is rarer to pick up. But I understand both cases, that pre-release, comes once and is gone, and then same thing with DigiFest. It's just, I just want to know if anyone thinks that way. Looking at the Jesmons here, I took a look at this Jesmon earlier. This is the alternate art. I think it's going to continue to trail downward personally. We are going into a couple formats, keep in mind, that are not Jesmon focused, and we don't really get as much support for Jesmon until we get the starter decks in that like BT10 time frame, as well as like the reprint or the special edition like gift set that they're going to have with Jesmon. So that's going to be really crazy when we get it in North America, but right now I think this is going to probably settle around maybe the $10 to $12 mark once we get into BT8 and people really just stop playing Jesmon altogether, because there's going to be so many other mechanics that are just much faster. Going into the other Jesmon, the event pack one, so this has been steadily at 85. I think it's going to probably hold its price maybe around 75 in my opinion. I think it's just going to keep going down. I don't think honestly this news is going to affect this price, especially because we're going also into regionals, and more copies of this are going to be available once we go into more regionals, and people who pull it are just going to be very lucky and like, hey, I got a Jesmon that's $85. More in circulation usually will test the market. There'll be an initial increase in the price, and then it'll probably drop. That's the Jesmon stuff. So now I want to start on this side over here and just quickly look at a few cards that I find might be some alternate strategies you may consider with playing Jesmon GX. So first off, I did kind of organize this into just Royal Knights and Royal Knight Holy Warrior, just because it gave me a better idea of what's currently available. But keep in mind, I'm not including anything starter deck or BT9 or BT10 that's already been released. So with that said, starting just to look at the Omnimon here, although it has a one Digivolving effect, it does not meet that requirement of 13 play cost, so it's not going to work with that strategy. However, it is a good alternative, and the price has been going up there. It was just something I wanted to mention. 120 as the lowest price right now. You may want to consider picking this up before it keeps getting bought out. Then we have the Gallimon. I mentioned this before, so this is the Store Champion pack. I think the other versions are honestly a little bit less in price, but this is one of your options as well. If you have a Red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. Again, something you could put into your Digivolution stack. Also, it gets an antibody form in EX2, so that might be something to hold on to when you pick it up, because now that's Gallimon, that's X antibody Gallimon, that's two Royal Knights, and then you Digivolve into a GX version of Jesmon, and you will already have 4 swings right there, 1, 2, 3, and then whatever you put underneath it being 4. Again, just looking at Omnimons, this is a nice art. It might be used as an alternative to Jesmon GX, but I don't think so. I think it's just too good a card. But I'm gonna get into now the other choices, and I thought this was really interesting. So because this here, the Magnamon, is considered a Royal Knight, it is a valuable viable target. Don't worry about the price right now. I personally stay away from pre-release, but Magnamon being able to, when Digivolve, unsuspend this Digimon, so you can get that from it. Also gains 2,000 DP until the end of the turn for every armor rush in its name. So first off, a few things about this card, why it may be playable with the Jesmon GX is number 1, you can put it underneath it, and then you gain the 1 Digivolving effect. Also, it works with a couple of other cards coming out. So Magnamon X that comes out, I think, is a level 6, so you can Digivolve right from the level 6 into your level 7. It does have a Digivolving effect as well, I believe. We'll have to check that out, but it's something to keep in mind that this is an alternative. Also, you can digivolve from blue or yellow, so you can almost make like a blue-yellow variant of the Jesmon deck as well, and I'll get to why. So you have Dynasmon here. So this is interesting. This is probably one of the best cards you could play in the new variant if you're looking at a blue-yellow build. You can trash the top cards of your security stack to reveal the top 6 of your deck, add 2 level 6 or lower Digimon, the rest go to your trash. Why is this important? Because you trash pretty much what you want to. You can send, first off, if you look at the top 6, and let's say you have Sistermons in there, you can take whatever other pieces you need, leave the Sistermons to go into the trash, or add them to your hand, but now you have targets for your other Royal Knights to use. Secondly, you can also trash cards that are not necessarily, you can put Gengoku, other like cards that you can put underneath the Jesmon GX version as well from this effect. So once getting them in the trash, you don't necessarily need to worry about being able to digivolve into them or being able to play them, just as long as you're able to put them underneath that card. So that's why I think Dynasmon might be a very good choice in playing that deck, especially if you combine it with like the Magnamon here. Lastly, these two are over here are 1 and 1.5, I believe they came out of. Leopardmon, when digivolving, play 1 card. Play 1 level 4 lower Digivolution card from one of your Digimon as another Digimon without paying the memory cost. This is cool for extending your plays, especially if you play like a Leopardmon focus deck. But also you keep in mind that Magnamon here is a level 4, so you could do like a play that digivolves into Leopardmon. You play the level 4 Magnamon, then go into Magnamon X as like one of your play styles. So that could be something to consider as one of the ways you play. And then lastly, Kentorismon, being able to put this underneath and kind of stun your opponent, like security -2 to all their Digimon. That maybe you might be low on your security stack, or maybe you're not able to recover as much as you'd want, and you can put this underneath. But being able to play like a deck that is focused on maybe like a recovery aspect. Before like swinging in with Jesmon GX and just doing multiple checks, that might be something to consider as well. With that said, I'd love to hear your thoughts and let me know what you think you may want to consider playing with this kind of new deck and new cards announced. This got me very excited because I personally don't play red as often, but because it does have like red black and you can use it in other strategies, I might be more inclined to play this version of the deck. I love Royal Knights, I love the whole theme behind them, and I think that it would really be cool just to see what this deck can do. Definitely using it with other strategies like the blue-yellow builds or like ideas that I've already brought up here. But please let me know your thoughts, and please like and subscribe, and have a great day.